I first heard the story on a night train that idled outside a shuttered factory. An old station guard told me, there are ghosts that float and ghosts that glide, but the one you should fear is the one that crawls, dragging itself across gravel and glass and concrete, making a sound like a coin tapped on a desk. Teke Teke Teke. I laughed then. I should not have. A week later, I took a substitute post at Higashisawa Middle School. The building was all concrete and identical windows, with a rusted rail yard beyond a fence of leaning wire. The vice principal said the third years were bored. The school nurse poured me tea and warned me about a rumor. Years ago, a girl stayed late, lost a pencil case near the tracks, and the train took what it wanted. Now there's a dare. If something asks where your legs are, you answer, on the Meishin line. Put them far away. Superstition, she said, is just a rubber sole between you and the wet floor. Third period, class 3C. I wrote my name on the board. A tall boy with ink on his fingers, Sora, tapped his pen. Teke Teke. We did a warm-up about frightening sounds. Sora wrote, the scariest sound is the one hiding inside your breathing, so you notice it too late. After class, he gave me a story about a girl named Aya who ran faster than failure until the light of a train became the whole world. That afternoon in the old art room, our club met under a cracked plaster bust. The lights flickered down the hall, came a small hard tick, like metal against stone. When I checked, the corridor was empty in a way that felt dishonest. Sora pressed his fingers in his ears and said, sometimes it keeps pace with me. If it gets ahead, I stop and become furniture. The wind returned the next day. The janitor propped open the doors and leaves scraped the tile. Two girls whispered a rhythm with their tongues, then snapped silent when I turned. Teke Teke Teke. That night in my apartment, a tap came from the hallway. Another. I stood very still, while the refrigerator sighed and the clock coughed, and the courage I had felt earlier leaked through the floorboards. Morning assembly? An incident near the faculty lot, the principal said. Everything under control. In the weeds by the fence, someone had found twin troughs in the gravel. Not footprints, but tracks, like something had dragged itself along on elbows. The nurse appeared beside me and said, some stories have handles in the wrong places. Be careful how you carry them. In class, Sora wrote quickly, as if something had opened inside him, and decided to pull. After school, he asked me to walk as far as the river. We crossed a pedestrian bridge over the abandoned bed. The rails lay sunken like black smiles in the stones. Do you hear it here? I asked. Often, he said. He tapped the railing. A thin harmonic crawled into my teeth. We listened. City noise shuffled. Then the separate rhythm arrived. Patient, almost polite. Teke, a pause. Teke, then a quickening. Teke Teke Teke. I said it could be a bottle or a branch. He said sure. He meant no. That night I read his new pages. Aya returned, not walking and not flying. Hands, slapping tile, dragging what remained. She knocked on infirmary doors and classroom doors, making that small exact metal on stone. She asked questions with no right answers. Where are your legs? Where do you keep your fear? What sound does your name make when you drop it down a well? Before dawn, I dreamed I was a train that could not slow without screaming. At the gate, the principal met me again. Another incident, he said. Sora hadn't come home. We were to keep students calm. Rumor said a stray dog barked for 20 minutes at a space near the culvert, and then lay down and would not pass. I went to the culvert anyway. The concrete mouth was stained with iron. Inside, a circle of dark. I held up my phone. The glow went nowhere. A far drip organized itself into a count. The count broke and became a run. Teke 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 Teke. I began to back out. The run stopped so quickly, it left a bruise on the silence. Sora, I said, because names are nets. Are you there? The dark held, and then a voice that was not a voice asked, "Where are your legs?" I remember the nurse's rubber soles. On the mation line, I said, far away. The dark thought about that, then repeated, patient, precise, and yours. Only then did I understand the first question had not been meant for me. If I put the legs here, the story would take the difference out of my body. I chose not to even the world. On the major line, I said again louder, as if certainty were a door. Something in the pipe made a small, irritated sound, like a person who has stepped in gum. Rapid taps retreated into the ground's hush. I stood until the nurse found me. "Do not go home alone," she said. We called Sora's mother, then the police. Searchlines combed the weeds and riverbank. They found Sora near dusk in a tangle of bamboo by the old tower, unwounded except in the eyes. He would not say what he'd followed or what had followed him. He cried once when the nurse said his name as if it were a candle. The principal issued safety phrases. The counselor visited rooms and wrote patient words on boards. Life tried to pretend it had not paused. In the art room, the bust was turned slightly toward the door. I turned it back and laughed at myself, because laughter is a light. You can screw in anywhere. That evening, Sora's mother called. He wanted me to know he had heard the question twice. The first time, he could not answer fast enough. He felt the sound learn him like a scanner learns a barcode. When the second question came, he had no breath left. So he let the darkness ask me instead. "Is he safe now?" I asked. "As safe as anyone who has been asked," she said. "He will listen more carefully than before." The term thinned. The girl with the star mask revealed a stubborn mouth. The neat-haired boy discovered 3 words for the same color and used all of them. Sora's fingers stayed clean. A rumor flared and faded that someone flicked a coin into the culvert, and it turned around halfway and accelerated back, fast enough to make them flinch, and then laugh at flinching. On my last day, the nurse handed me 2 foam earplugs in a small envelope. "In some places, listening is brave," she said, "and in some places it is unwise." I crossed the bridge and looked down at the sunken rails. The wind got its hand under a warning sign and made it clack against the fence. I said her name into the wind because stories weren't offerings. "Aya," I said, "the way you say sorry to a door you bumped." The question rose from somewhere among the stones. Gentle, patient, proud of itself for remembering. "Where are your legs?" "On the mation line," I said. "Far away, not here." A single soft note touched the underside of the bridge. An acknowledgement between neighbors. The wind carried it off into the warehouses, where old machines sleep with their mouths open. I moved to a city where trains dive underground before they reach schools. But cities remember. Some nights my shoes make a precise music on tile. Teke Teke. If I hurry, the rhythm follows half a step behind, loyal as a shadow. If I stop and hold my breath, it leans forward like a story that has realized the listener is trying to leave. The earplugs live in my coat. I have never worn them. I never will. If you hear it, answer quickly. Say what she needs to hear and what you need to believe. Put it far away from your body and close enough to itself that it nods. The world will forgive your superstition because it forgives survival. The sound will go hunting for a better echo, a person who says the wrong thing without meaning to. And if you never hear it, count yourself lucky until the hallway goes still in a way that does not include you. Then you will know there is a sound that crawls. There is a hand that knocks when it cannot knock with its hand. Teke Teke Teke.